Five Guys Movie Rise. Welcome to the show. We're a little short-staffed this week. We're missing two of the guys. But I'm here, Molander. Joe is here.
Hello.
And Knack is here.
Heyo.
We're the important ones anyway, guys, right?
Definitely.
So this week, this episode, we decided to watch Jackie Brown. We're still in the movies we haven't seen before category, so I picked this one because it's the only Tarantino movie I had not seen. This is the third of Tarantino's movies that he's directed. After Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction and before Kill Bill in the order. It came out in 1997. It is about 2.5 hours, and it's a pretty fun little movie about a lady just trying to play two sides of the equation between cops and a gun runner, and kind of screw them all over. And it's great. I liked it a lot. I'm excited to talk about it. So yeah, let's just get just initial thoughts on the movie or whatever you all want to say. Let's start with Knack.
Radio. This is my second or third time. I'm pretty sure it's my third time watching the movie. I love it. I just love the charm and fucking like the chemistry between Pam Grier and Robert Forster, between fucking Jackie and Max. I mean, that it sort of just gives it provides so many chuckles for me throughout the movie with some of the stuff, the interactions between the two and how they just sort of have their minds. At least we get more of Max thinking about Jackie a lot. Yeah. I love that. I love the cast. The music, the pretty much the music in any scene just fits the scene that it's playing in so well. I genuinely love that. And yeah, I actually I believe it is probably also my least seen Tarantino movie, but easily it's so easy to love this movie, period.
We didn't talk about like a question to think about when watching this movie. Do you have one in mind?
No, because I mean, when it's a movie I hadn't seen before, I didn't.
Well, yeah. What about how does this rank in your list of Tarantino movies?
Sure.
For me, it's on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, because
okay,
it's my least favorite Tarantino movie.
Yeah, why is that? How about that?
Well, I just feel like every one of his movies is so good, and this one it doesn't have what all of his other movies do.
It is based off an Elmore Leonard book. If that
that's one of the reasons
gives any weight.
Think this movie kind of suffers. I'll give you my guys' initial thoughts on the movie.
Did he write most of the others, or?
Yeah, he wrote the script
Tarantino
for all his other movies. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did notice it doesn't have that sort of Tarantino dialogue that we usually get, like characters that are a little smarter than you'd think they would be, you know?
That's very true, yeah. It's missing a lot of his trademarks, but it's got a lot of his trademarks as well, like good music cues, for sure. I mean, the characters seem feet, yeah. The characters seem like Tarantino movies, but not quite as fleshed out as, like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction, right, or everyone in Reservoir Dogs, or Uma Thurman. Like I feel like the characters, except for Jackie Brown, just aren't quite charming enough to really carry this movie. But Jackie Brown, the character, I feel like is pretty good.
Okay.
And one other thing I noticed about Jackie Brown, the movie, that it lacks is there's no violence. Like
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very little, a gunshot here and there. Nothing really. There's not like a fight scene or much for action. Yeah,
There's almost nothing, and when Ordell Robbie kills Beaumont, the camera is like way up in the
like a
sky.
mile away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
aerial
It's
view.
so
Yeah.
different. I know Tarantino got a lot of flack and criticism for being so violent, especially with Reservoir Dogs. So I have to wonder if this was a reaction to that, and he wanted to prove to himself if he could make a movie with almost no blood in it. Like, do you guys remember ever seeing blood?
No, not at all.
It's pretty weird.
This one, no. Yeah, you might be right that he kind of took it as a challenge. Because Pulp Fiction's pretty bloody. Reservoir Dogs is very bloody. I doubt that he would like respond to critics and be like, "Okay, fine, I'll do one without blood." But I think he would.
Yeah.
I think he would think of it the way you phrased it just now, as like a challenge. Like, okay, I'll show him.
I think you're right that he wouldn't do it to respond to his worst critics, but maybe he was just trying to stay faithful to the novel at the same time.
Sure, yeah,
And
or to just prove it to himself and to
Yeah.
everyone else that, yeah. How about you, Nick? Where does this one rank in Tarantino movies for you?
You know, I don't know why I
And
feel.
let me just say, even if this is your least favorite Tarantino movie, you can still think it's a great movie. It's because
Right,
he has
right,
so
right,
many
right.
gems.
First off, I think I need to make sure if I've missed any of his movies.
So I got the list in front of me here. There's Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, which he considers to be one of his 10 movies that he wants to direct ever. Death Proof, Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained, The Hateful Eight, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, so I have caught them all.
Yeah.
My gosh. I think it ranks probably right around the middle, honestly.
Sure.
I among that list, I think he probably gave like 8 or 9 films. I'm pretty sure it's right around 4 or 5 on the list.
Sure.
I would probably put something like Death Proof under this movie, just because I just have such. Maybe it's because I've just literally just watched Jackie Brown, and that's why it sticks out. I tend to praise things that I've just recently seen, but yeah, I like the music. I like the cast. But yeah, I would have to say it is right around the middle.
Sure. I think it will land around the middle for me too. Just looking at the list and which movies I'd put above it. I don't want to go 1, 2, 3, but like
No, but
Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, I would definitely put above it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, maybe on par with it. Death Proof is my favorite Tarantino movie. I fucking love Death Proof. But yeah, I think Jackie Brown and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are like tied in the middle for me.
Okay.
And then the other 3.
You put Kill Bill, Inglourious Bastards, Hateful Eight below it.
No, Django, Inglourious Bastards, and Hateful Eight put below. Hateful Eight, I actually didn't finish. I watched like half of it.
Huh.
Like this.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So that's my bottom. But yeah.
Yeah, I put it dead last for me because I feel like it doesn't have the twists and turns that. Because he's such a good writer. He doesn't get credit because most people just think of him as like a sort of a violence guy. But his movies are very creative. He, makes up fake history scenarios.
Yeah.
And there's twists and turns. And
yeah.
He's a movie buffs director.
Yeah. He's really a great sort of world builder. Not in the sense of like a Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, but like he puts you in this world of his and just gives you a slice of it at a time.
He provides enough
you know?
immersion to keep you.
Right. He provides
put you there.
immersion, and you really feel like you're diving in there, with most of his movies. And I like that a lot. And I think he does that in Jackie Brown too, but when he's doing someone else's writing, it's gonna be a little different. It's gonna lose a little bit of his magic. Naturally. I did feel like it had some twists and turns. Like, I was guessing the whole time this morning when I was watching it, like, which side is she gonna fuck over more, or is she just gonna do for herself,
Yeah, because she kind of falls right in the middle, because she's not like a hardened criminal, and she's definitely not like an innocent victim either.
Right.
So it's really hard to, like you said, hard to see which side she fucking plays along with.
Yeah. So I think that's an interesting dynamic to watch her play both sides, And you honestly, like, nobody, I mean, I guess Ordell is the villain, quote unquote, of the movie, but like, he's not that much of a villain, he's not Darth Vader, right? He's just this dude who's trying to live his life. He's trying to get his money that he's earned. Obviously he's done it, through illegal means, and killing people and stuff, but he is trying to get what he's worked for,
Yeah, it's a living. You can say it.
Yeah.
It's funny how fucking Ordell just fucks like a bunch of people over, but once he gets fucked over, he gets pissed.
Right,
And once he just fucking rubs him the wrong way.
That's human. I feel like people are like that. I don't fault him for that, for being a little hypocritical when he gets fucked over. Yeah. So yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I thought it was great. But yeah, still not a top tier Quentin Tarantino movie, but really it's because his other movies are so damn good. They're just they're so hard to put another movie in front of in his list,
Yeah, I get it. I'm not normally like a huge Tarantino fan. Like I'd say I went through a phase as a teenager, but just rewatching these movies, like I think almost every other movie is a top tier one. Like I couldn't. Yeah. One other fault I see is that there's 2 deaths towards the end. Robert De Niro shoots the girlfriend of Ordell, and
Melanie.
Melanie. And then shortly after, Ordell shoots Robert De Niro. I forget his character's name. I feel like
and Keaton kills Ordell.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay, but I want to focus on those first 2 deaths. They're both kind of anticlimactic for me. Like they both die because,
because the other person is just pissed off.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't feel like deserved, and it felt like 2.5 hours into this movie, two of the last 3 deaths just kind of happened nonchalantly. I mean, maybe there's a message there that life is fickle and anyone could die at any moment.
Yeah.
But I do think Robbie's death was pretty satisfying and made sense for the movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Some people will say that the parking lot scene where Lewis kills Melanie is one of the best scenes. Like, I mean, it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to laugh at somebody just getting shot, but I laughed.
Yeah, I laughed.
I gave a couple chuckles when he shot her.
Yeah,
and then the discussion about her being shot between Lewis and Ordell in the van.
Yeah,
it adds on to it.
I feel like Louis Gara is probably like the dirtiest motherfucker that Robert De Niro has played, at least that I've seen him play. I mean, he's often a gangster, some kind of criminal, but he's usually an upper scale, like a mob guy or a boss of some kind, and in this way, he's just this dirty criminal dude, like
one standout role that fucking De Niro has that I don't know if anybody else here has seen it, but it's very separated from anything else I've really seen him done, is Scorsese's The King of Comedy.
Okay.
Have either of you seen that?
No.
Like I won't say anything about it, but like that's easily a very very different character than I've seen De Niro play in anything else. And I feel like watching that movie a second and third time because it was great to watch.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds.
Anyway,
yeah, I was gonna
give
say
it a shot.
Taxi Driver too. He's kind of a sleazy guy.
Yeah, that's true. I saw Taxi Driver once, and I feel like I wasn't old enough to appreciate Taxi Driver. I saw it, so I should take a look at it. I was probably like 16 or 17 or shit about the depth, you know?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Right? To plumb the depths of cinema. Discord voice chat.
Exactly.
Yeah, some other cast. I was surprised to see. I didn't know De Niro was going to be in. I was surprised to see him come up in credits when I started, and then Keaton too. I didn't realize he was in this movie, but I'm a big fan of him. He had a smaller role in this, but he still was good. You know, he did a good job. I'm seeing on the list here Danny DeVito as the man getting his bag. Didn't notice him at all.
I didn't either. I know he produced
Okay.
Tarantino's movies.
Huh.
Fiction.
Yeah, I don't know. He must have just been some dude in some scene. I'm sure some expert out there can tell us.
It's pretty hard to miss DeVito, but he
Right.
eluded me as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see him. Chris Tucker out of
Oh
nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was Beaumont.
Right, yeah. Saw him. And then Lisa Gay Hamilton came up. I'm like, I know that name. Who is that? And I had to look her up, and she was on The Practice. Did you guys watch that?
No,
I didn't
It's
watch
like
it. I remember the show existing, but
It was like a 90s, like late 90s lawyer show.
had Dylan McDermott
Courtroom
in it.
drama. Yeah. Love that show. And she was good on it. And I recognized her from her. Obviously, in this, she's a very different role. She's just a crackhead, but she's good. Good actress. Yeah. Sid Haig, just out of nowhere as a judge for 5 minutes. Like, okay. Good. But yeah, I think Forster was really good. Let's get to Jeff's notes here that he sent us. All right, he says Forster and Grier are the standouts in this movie. The romance between them is a little awkward, but I find it charming. De Niro is hilarious. Never thought I'd see him play a role like this, and glad I did. Definitely an ode to blaxploitation films, with a lot of subtle nods to the genre, along with the more blatant tone and style. Feels more grounded for Tarantino, but I like that. And then I'll save his rating for the end when we get to that. But yeah, and I don't disagree with anything he's saying there. But yeah, it does feel more grounded, and that's, you know, like kind of what we talked about, that it's written by someone else. So it's going to be a little different.
I dearly liked De Niro's physical acting in the scene where Simone is dancing for him when he's sitting in that lazy boy.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta
So weird.
I gotta pop a gif in the spoiler chat of that scene where he's just patting his hands on his knees and sort of like watching with this almost blank entertain, like he's seeing the raised eyebrows and
yeah.
Oh, I love that fucking scene. And then when she walks away to fucking get the phone, he's just like staring up at the ceiling, like, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
Here?
What am I doing here?
Just little things like that fucking get me.
Yeah. And then even me, like, I'm sitting there watching this, like, what am I watching right now? Like, I think my favorite scene was probably the in Jackie's apartment with between Pam Grier and Sam Jackson, when like they keep turning the light on and then he turns the light off and she turns it on, turns it back off. Is he gonna try to kill her? We know, like, it's been set up that he puts on gloves and grabs a gun before he goes to kill someone. We saw him do that. So we know what he's in there to do, and she probably knows because she's worked long enough what those gloves mean.
Yeah, a lot of tension in that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I really that's really when I fell in love with her character, is when she sort of outfoxed him in that scene. And I was like, okay, good. I'm behind this character now. I like this. And she was great throughout the movie. I honestly, I know Pam Grier was big in the '70s, but I wasn't. So I hadn't actually seen much. Couple things here and there, because she does still act. I guess her last movie was in 2019. But yeah, I haven't really seen her in much other than this, and she's great.
Yeah, I feel like she is a classic Tarantino character.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I liked her. Do we have more thoughts? Do we have more discussion questions to talk about? You guys had Joe. How about you? Do you have like a favorite scene you want to talk about?
It's got to be the same scene you just said, because that's when she comes alive. That's, she
Sure.
turns the table on him. She pulls the gun on him. It shows that she's inventive and cunning in her own way. Yeah, same scene. What about you, Nick?
Well, I think the let's see. Like I said, I do really like the parking lot scene, and just the general cuteness between Max and Jackie, like him picking up a Delphonics tape and listening to it in his car. And, it's just stuff like that gets me all warm and fuzzy, and that's not always a feeling you get in Tarantino movies at all.
Right?
Like you don't
usually get
make warm and
romance.
fuzzy content, but like this movie does stand apart.
And I feel like knowing it's Tarantino altered my perception of that romance from the start, right? Because he goes to pick her up from jail, bail her out, and like she's walking out, and you have like the cute music, and you like see him see her for the first time, and you're like, oh, he's like smitten right now. But wait, this is Tarantino. There's not going to be a love story here. Like, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
And then there kind of is a little bit. They kind of flirt with that a little bit, and they kiss a little bit at the end. And she walks off, and that's as much love story as you're gonna get. And
What do you guys? How do you feel about the ending?
I liked it. I was surprised that he didn't go off with her. I mean, he was talking about getting out of the bail bonds business, and here's his opportunity. This beautiful woman that he's in love with and wants him to just run away with her and all this money, and then he just doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's it's dumb, bro. But
Yeah,
whatever.
This is my general feel about it too. He just kind of picks up the phone, goes back to
Right.
what he's
Right back into it.
doing. But I'm okay with it. I don't know how in line it is. Well, I can only imagine it's fairly in line with the novel. But
yeah, I'm sure that
I do like the. I have trouble thinking about anything else I may have seen Robert Forster in, but he brings a charm to that character that I don't think the other potentials could have brought in. Like Gene Hackman was considered for his role. Paul Newman was considered. Like I just love his visual appeal as the character in the movie a lot.
Yeah, I think a Gene Hackman would have been a little dirtier feeling. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't have been right for the character. And Paul Newman might have been a little too clean. You know what I mean? And Forster is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, agreed.
Nails it.
Definitely agree. Yeah, I don't have much else to add myself, but we can We can go take it wherever now.
To
Okay.
some more ratings.
Yeah. Jeff rated this as 7.5 out of 10.
Right.
I'd put it probably about the same, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. I'd recommend it to others, but I'd recommend other Tarantino movies first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty in line with those ratings too. I mean, only deductions because we've seen what Tarantino has done in pretty much any of his other movies, and this being based off of a novel, it stands apart. But yeah, I'm in line with a 7.5 as well.
I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. I'd love to see Tarantino try to make another movie based on someone else's work, or try to challenge him. Yeah, you're probably right. Or to challenge himself in a way, like to make a movie without blood or violence again, just to see if he can do it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do next. Because like it says here on Wikipedia that he has said that he's thought a lot about the last movie he'll do, and that he only wants to do a total of 10 films. And counting Kill Bill as one movie, he's done 9. So he's got one more movie in him, and I doubt it'll be an adaptation if it's his last movie.
I'm guessing he like found a magic bottle and made his wish to only direct 10 good movies.
Maybe. So yeah, I'm excited to see whatever else he's got for us, though. I think he's a great director.
Same here.
He's had his ups and downs, but yeah, I think he's good. And I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood I really liked, and that kind of
it's great.
Brought him back into my good graces. I wasn't a huge fan of Inglourious Bastards or Hateful Eight. Django was fine. It was fun. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood kind of reminded me how good he can be, So I'm excited to see what he wants to do for his last movie, if that happens.
I'm leaning towards yes. I definitely lean. I definitely lean towards him giving one last banger.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. And I think there's like a chart here of his collaborators and like all the different things that various people have been in, like so many movies of his, like which ones Sam Jackson has been in, which ones Harvey Keitel's been in, which ones have Zoe Bell in them, and there's
on the Jackie Brown wiki. Where are you seeing that?
No, on the Tarantino wiki.
Okay,
there's a chart. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see like a lot of these people show up in his last movie, just as like
it's probably gonna be
bringing the whole band together somehow.
No, he's probably gonna start completely fresh. Get like Ryan Reynolds, and the Rock, and Kevin Hart, and Tom Holland, Timothée Chalamet.
Sure, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Ariana Grande or someone.
I feel like they're in everything now, and they just ruin movies.
Fucking Ryan Gosling.
I wonder if you could say the production company would be called A Band Splits Apart.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think that's our episode.
We got one more thing to talk about here.
We do. Are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking of, the next movie? Or do you have something else?
Yes, I am thinking of that. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it is Jeff's pick for the next movie. He wasn't able to join us tonight, but he told us what he wants to pick. It is called Possum from 2018.
Does anyone know anything about it? Seen it?
I have seen this movie.
Yeah.
It was this is the most fun I've had seeing an uncomfortable movie. This movie will not be heartwarming at all.
Okay.
Like
I feel
uh
I feel like I should watch Pig first. We've already seen Lamb.
Right. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
that's-
excited. I remember he was talking about it last time, and I
Yeah.
watched the trailer after we were done recording. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I hope he picks this.
Yeah, he was bouncing between this and a couple other great movies, but
Yeah, it looks cool.
Man.
Is it like Hereditary level uncomfortable?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Like it almost doesn't even matter what kind of horror gets under your skin. This film will likely get under your skin.